What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 2019 Spring Tournament going on. Today we've got Amazon DeepDivers versus Facebook Mid or Newsfeed. So fair warning, I am playing in this game, Vintage, this is me drafting. So this cast will be a little bit biased, but I'll try my best not to. And also this game was played a few weeks ago now, so this is definitely 7.21C. You're gonna notice that some of my picks, the heroes got nerfed a little bit, so a bit of a spoiler alert. But let's hop into the draft. So Amazon DeepDivers, banning Lifestealer, some good stuff all around. Lifestealer is a very strong hero, and a Kunkka ban as well. So Kunkka not as common these days, since they changed Tidebringer to no longer be able to deny. That was pretty busted before, to be honest, so I'm glad they changed that one. He would get plus 25 damage on a Tidebringer, and it would even put the Tidebringer on cooldown as well. So it was a little bit bullshit. I banned Bounty Hunter. I can't deal with Bounty Hunter. I'm the position 5, so I just don't want to deal with Bounty Hunter like at all.
Radiance ban.
Monkey King coming out of myself. I can't remember why we banned Monkey King exactly. Probably just one of my teammates told me to. The only hero I was kind of straight up like I don't want to play against was Bounty Hunter. So at this point I'm just taking suggestions, what my teammates don't want to go up against.
10 seconds to pick.
Again, I played this game like 4 weeks ago, so it was quite a while ago now. Not really remembering what happened in this game. A Jug ban from Amazon DeepDivers, similar to Lifestealer, just as this really strong hero with inbuilt spell immunity. Feels pretty good. Juggernaut can get a little bit active, faster than the Lifestealer at least.
Radiant team are now picking.
We banned the Night Stalker. Night Stalker is kind of an odd hero. He's a god for literally half the game, and then the other half he's absolutely useless. Obviously the ultimate can make it go into nighttime as well. A little bit less than half the game he's useless, but pretty beefy hero all around.
5 seconds remain.
So there's a Lion coming out of Amazon DeepDivers, and I believe I do these picks pretty quickly here. So Lion's just like a pretty decent pick overall. The Finger of Death changes help him scale pretty well into the late game. Just having that Earth Spike and Hex as well is pretty good. So I pick Viper and Leshy back to back really quickly. This is pretty important as the second pick to put a lot of pressure on the enemy opponent, the enemy drafter, because if you pick the Viper and then the first pick and then wait a bit, you pick the second pick, it gives them time to react. So you want to pick both of them like pretty quickly here. We talked about this before the game started, so we're pretty on board with the Viper Lesh combo. Lesh got nerfed a lot after this patch. Obviously, again, this is on an older patch, so the Diabolic Edict at level 1 in this game is going to be pretty ridiculous. 11 damage per tick, and went down to 8 recently. So it got buffed up to 9, and then from 9 to 11, and then we got nerfed down to 8. So the Disco Pony feeling kind of terrible now. We also picked the Viper. Viper's definitely gotten nerfed a lot recently, even before this patch. Got nerfed again in 7.21D, but still a really good hero. The also the minus magic minus magic resistance plus the Leshrac is a pretty good combo as well. We see the Pangolier come out of Amazon DeepDive. So Pangolier was a really strong hero in this patch. Did get nerfed a bit as afterwards, but still a pretty good hero, I would say. Just extra special in this, you can get the silence and the disarm in the same hit with the swashbuckle. So I think the math changed a lot with Pangolier.
10 seconds
but I guess it really depends on how it's implemented. So before you would have a 1 in 5 chance for the silence and 1 in 5 chance for the disarm. They roll separately. So when you do the 4 hits with swashbuckle, you've got sort of like 80-ish% chance to get either a silence or a disarm, and it's pretty likely you're going to get at least one of them, which is why it felt so strong before. But now that they roll, well, you can't get the disarm and the silence together. I'm not really sure how it works. They probably just roll separately still. I guess we have to look at like the source code or something. So we banned Troll because we don't want to deal with him. We kind of had an idea if we want to pick as our carry already. We need a physical damage hero who can do okay in the early game because we want to push with this Viper and Lesh. So they banned Magnus and Drow. Magnus I'm a little bit confused about as a ban, but Drow would have been pretty good with our lineup. So some hero to get online early. She hits pretty hard with those marksmanship stacks now.
10 seconds to pick.
I also can't really remember what you picked this game, so
5 seconds.
Unbiased casting, here we go. Drow's also kind of become the flavor of the month recently. She's gotten a lot of agility buffs, especially at level 1. So her base damage remains exactly the same as it was before. A little bit pitiful to be honest, but she has more agility, so they took away some of the base damage and added agility back in, so she basically has like 1.5 more armor at level 1 and 10 more attack speed, which is pretty big on the Drow, honestly.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
We banned Nyx Assassin because he's very good against Viper and Lesh, and I picked Jakiro for myself. I'm a Jakiro spammer, so you might be seeing me play this one a lot. And yeah, just another hero that can like deal really well with the hero, the Nyx Assassin. So it was a pretty pretty sensible ban from us. And we also picked this Lesh because he's a bit of a flex pick. He can go position 3 or 4, depending on who's more comfortable. In this patch specifically, we've been seeing him a lot as position 3. And Viper also a little bit of a flex pick, can go mid, can go off lane, pretty terrible safe laner, but usually you see him in mid. And Keeper of the Light comes out from Amazon DeepDivers. I think at this point I was like, well, the question marks are kind of like going off. Koddle and Pango is a pretty decent lane actually. Pangoloo has a lot of mana problems and Koddle can solve all of that. Getting that cooldown reduction on the Swashbuckle is pretty big too. So it's actually a pretty decent combo, but this Lion and Koddle pairing don't really do much together, and you normally want to see Lion as position 4 these days. Don't see that position for Keeper of the Light anymore since they changed. They just reworked the hero and it just doesn't need items anymore. There's not much point in getting farm him unless you're trying to farm a fast refresher orb, the Yapsaw style. We picked Centaur Warrunner because we want another like AoE stun, and that Stampede will help us get out of the Will-O-Wisp and the Rolling Thunder. We can run away from the Rolling Thunder, and they don't have much lockdown right now. They've just the Lion, but the Lion's going to need a blink if he's going to catch up to us. So the Centaur was a pretty solid pick from us that we decided on. Definitely having a lot of uses, and this also reveals that Leshrac is going to be our position 4 because Centaur as a position 4 is quite terrible. So we're going to have this Leshrac Centaur Warrunner offlane, a lot of magic damage coming out from the double edge and the Leshrac, so not bad. And the War Stop can also set up for the Split Earth, so we're going to maybe see some of those combos, something pretty easy to set up, a lot of chain stunning, easy kills. On DeepDivers, going deep into the reserve time here. Probably want to pick their carry in this phase. You can protect it with the next ban as well. It's pretty nice. They go for an Ursa, which a very popular hero right now. So the Amazon DeepDivers plan is kind of like just run at them and try and pick them off one by one. But unfortunately, we've got the Centaur War Runner already, so we can just always run away from this Ursa.
Only 10 seconds.
So we're not feeling too threatened by the Ursa right now.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry. Radiant spam.
Oh, I just realized I've got the nicknames up, so maybe revealing the real names of one of our players. I'll just fix it later. And we banned the OD
Only 10 seconds.
because OD does pretty well against Viper in mid. So just a nice safe ban overall.
Radiant team are now picking. Dire team pick.
Clinks.
So they go for the Clinks pick. Yeah, I mean, Clinks is pretty scary if he gets a good start. He's going to go up against the Viper in mid. I haven't seen this matchup too much, actually. Clinks is pretty obnoxious, but so is Viper, so not really sure who's usually favored in this matchup. And Clinks doesn't actually lose mid that often. He's just the searing arrows, they hit so hard early on.
5 seconds. Hurry,
and once he gets
hurry.
level 6, he can just hit I've had so many games where you go for the Clinks and then you end up like feeding a double kill or a triple kill to the Burning Army. And we don't have that many ways to kill the Burning Army right now. No one attacks particularly fast. And same with the Keeper of the Light. We pick Faceless Void for the extra team fight. We've got the Leshrac, the Viper, the Chihiro to lay in damage as well. So plenty of follow up for the Chronospheres. Amazon DeepDivers, they've got the Keeper of the Light. I actually don't remember if the Ignis Fatus works inside the Chronosphere. I'm not too sure about this one. It's kind of an odd interaction. It's not really a unit, so I'm not sure if it gets affected, but like towers don't activate, like towers don't fire anything on the Chronosphere, so not exactly obvious. I suppose we'll see it once we get later in the game. Yeah, the main problem with Amazon DeepDivers lineup right now is there's not much catch. So, I mean, we've got the Rolling Thunder, which is okay. The Lion is the main one. Maybe Ursa, once he gets like level 14, maybe level 60, gets more points in the Earth Shock. Or a Basher later, but yeah, just not much on the side of Team Amazon. It's going to make him really hard to get... Make it really hard for them to get kills early on. They do have the Clinks though to burst people down. The Ursa still hits pretty hard. But the game plan from Facebook just seems a little bit easier. So let's introduce the teams. We've got Anathorn on the Clinks. Stark 3D1 on the Ursa. Wild the Beast on the Pangolier. Debug This on the Lion. And Berry Air on the Coddle, and that'll close out the draft for Amazon. Vintage tipping his Viper. So we got maybe plus CTY on the Viper, GH on the Faceless Void, Vintage, myself on the Jakiro, ABC on the Leshrac, and Rockhawk on the Centaur War Runner. So this lane is going to be pretty scary from the side of Facebook. There's a lot of damage coming out. Diabolic Edict, like I mentioned, it's well, this tooltip is old. But this was definitely like the version where it was still 11 damage per tick at level 1. And got the double edge, the hoof stomp, and retaliate. They all do a lot of damage.
I'll burn your body to ashes.
Meanwhile, top lane, yeah. So, Faceless Void does pretty well against the Keeper of the Light spam. You can just time walk off a lot of it. So nothing to be scared of there. Of course, Pangolier can't get a lucky shot silence. Again, this is the patch where you can silence and disarm in the same hit. So you can... It seems like pretty more likely that it happens. Jakiro and Cuddle will just juke it out in the side here. And the Cuddle getting pretty low is going to have to be forced to salve up now. Swashbuckle will scare away the Jakiro. Nice Earth Spike onto Leshrac, has the level 1 Edict skilled up already. So he can actually look to run at these guys if he wants to. He's pretty fast as well. Can chase down the Lion. He's got a wind lace and is still faster than the Lion, so that's any indication of how fast the Leshrac is. It's going to be this Nether Toxin build coming out of the Viper. We've been seeing this for the last few months. It's just very obnoxious. You can go farm in the jungle after you hit level 3 or level 5. Queued up a Soul Ring, and it looks like... No, he queued up a Soul Ring, thought about it, but didn't want to go for it. Additionally, the lane was on the high ground for the Viper, so Klink's gonna struggle to get last hits up that hill. Now it's pushed in on the other side as well. Top lane, mostly just gonna trade farm. Not too much is gonna go on here. So we're gonna look to this bottom lane to see the level 1 War Stomp from the Centaur War Runner. A little bit uncommon. You normally see that retaliate first. You gotta stack up those stacks and also return a bit of damage onto the supports who are harassing you back. But with the Leshrac, it's an easy setup for the Split Earth. Unfortunately, not Split Earth at level 1. This is the new way to play Leshrac with that Diabolic Edict. The Split Earth also does 120 damage at level 1, so pretty big damage overall. The Stomp only does 80, but still a bit above average for a nuke. So we're just gonna have a bit of a farming game. Jakiro getting 1v1ing this Cuddle, mostly trading, just trying to trade regen. So the Jakiro brought 6 Tangos and a salve, and the Cuddle, he brought 4 Tangos and a salve. So the regen going the way of the Jakiro, so it should make him feel pretty confident in trading with the Cuddle. Dodges the Illuminate, so pretty nice there. Mid lane, the Viper and the Klink's getting pretty even. The Viper forced to ferry out a salve. The Klink's is very low himself. He's also got a salve on the courier, so pretty nice. Klink's going for a Soul Ring actually, and Jakiro gets a kill on the Pangolier. Pretty deep in as well. Probably use the Swashbuckle offensively, and the Centaur gets a kill on the and the Lion, just a hoof stomp into Diabolic Edict. No Split Earth needed either. But for the Split Earth, but does miss unfortunately, so going to be pretty hard. Pangolier probably shouldn't have died there. He should have saved his Swashbuckle to be able to get out. So not really sure how he actually died. The Klink's pulling his creep wave back in pretty deep. The creeps are going to meet on the high ground here, so the range creep going to be a bit harder for the Viper to take. Has one more mango, so can pop it, drop the Nether Toxin, but that'll just let the Klinks deny the range creep, so not really worth it. Gonna try and get the lane to push back on his side of the river. Top lane, we've got the Jakiro getting very low. Only hits one person from the dual breath, unfortunately. And the Swashbuckle comes out. Eliminate's not going to finish the Jakiro, so he's going to be able to salve up there. Pretty safe. I heard Faceless Void get a bash on the Pangolier, so that feels pretty good. Another Split Earth misses. A lot of pings coming out from the Ursa, so he knows that the shack is there. Still pretty quiet overall. 22 kills so far. We've seen some pretty explosive games in this league. Earth Spike onto the Centaur, but not too much he can do. A Split Earth hits the Lion just raw. Leshrac going very deep for this, and there's a pause. Probably regretting his decisions a little bit, but should be able to get this Lion just one more last hit and maybe like a few more Diabolic Edict ticks. And he's out of the range of the tower as well, so doesn't need to worry about dying anymore. The Ursa's not going to be able to catch up to him. He doesn't have the Earth Shock, so we'll see. Maybe he can do this. The Edict does kill the Lion, and he didn't stop for the last hit, so The Ursa not going to get in range. Another nice split Earth stops the Ursa from chasing. Good place by the Leshrac player. Pangoli, he's kind of in poverty right now, only 6 last hits, but pretty much expected for a Pangoli. You generally just lose your lane. Pangoli's not a very strong laner, even with this base damage buff that he got recently, which made him a viable mid laner. It's just still not that strong. Kira going for the bounty runes. It's a dual breath to zone off the Keeper of the Light, and Jakira will be able to get both of the bounty runes at bot. Centaur heading for the bounty runes at bot, sorry. Jakira got the bounty runes at top. The Shrek is up here now, manages to snatch the bounty rune away from the Coddle who was running for it. Coddle's a very fast hero, but the Shrek gets the turnaround kill, helps Jakira get the turnaround kill on the Coddle at least. The Centaur's by himself right now. He's got phase bits queued up, so pretty nice to get that little bit of extra armor. Mid lane still pretty even. Klink's pulling ahead a little bit in net worth, but he's been ferrying a lot of regen, unfortunately. Jakira just suicided the tier 2 because he was out of mana. A pretty valid strategy. If you think that this 134 gold each is actually split 134 gold split 5 ways. So everyone on the enemy team gets like 26 gold, and the cost is that
Radiant's towers are fortified.
Now you have a full mana pool when you respawn.
Fortified their towers.
And I really like going for this 2 points in dual breath. I think the level 2 in dual breath is such a huge power spike that it's worth putting off the other 2 spells. You don't normally want to max dual breath first though. Completely whiffed the dual breath on the Ursa, so gonna be a bit hard, but gets the raw split earth onto the Ursa. The Diabolic Edict is gonna finish everyone off. Misses the dual breath again, so the Ursa is going to be able to run away. There is a regen rune at bot, but no one sees it because there's no wards on the map. The Burning Army comes out from the Klinks, but isn't able to kill the Viper. The Viper just TP'd out, so going to be okay. The chase continues on the Ursa. It forces the Ursa to waste the Shrine. He wasn't able to get full value out of the Shrine, so it's still a little bit low. There's going to be a rotation on the Klinks. They have a sentry. There's 2 sentries on the side of Facebook, so it should be pretty easy to get. They actually dropped both sentries, so both having the same ideas. A bit of lack of communication there, but we'll get the kill onto the Klinks. So pretty nice, and they're going to get this tower with the Diabolic Edict. Jakiro and the Shrek, both great supports at pushing. So this is a bit of a personal preference. I actually max Ice Path first, so I'll just spend the rest of my points in Ice Path after this. I just feel like Ice Path is the best skill that Jakiro has, so might as well max it first. So I have been experimenting with this max Liquid Fire build because there's this plus 300 attack range talent at level 10, so you can see towers from the low ground that way, or just like out of range of the tower. You can just keep throwing Liquid Fires at them pretty safely. But I haven't felt the impact that much of the Liquid Fire. Nice 2-man Ice Path comes down onto 2 heroes, and also a 2-man Dual Breath to follow up. And this line is going to go down as well. We'll see if the Jakiro will be able to get out, but probably not. It's getting pretty low. Takes another tower hit. The Pangoli will get the kill. Split Earth misses. The Pangoli uses the shield crash to dodge it, but he'll end up dying. The Diabolic Edict comes out, but he's going to go down. Ursa's TPing back in, but he cancels it, knowing that he's going to die if he TPs back in. This Void is pretty much free farming. Also, a complete disaster already yikes territory for the side of Amazon DeepDivers. All 5 heroes on the side of Facebook are ahead of the net worth of all 5 heroes on the on Amazon. So you never want to see this happen. Usually when this happens, it's already 8k gold lead at 8 minutes in. The win rate is pretty high already. So close to that 1k GPM mark, GPM per minute mark that we often cite is the point of not being able to win anymore. Yeah, so the Shrek will walk into the line, gets Hex for his troubles, and is going to go down. So a casual feed from the Shrek. They definitely saw all the heroes as well. No, Jakiro just dropped this himself forward. He gets dewatered straight away, so that's some serious fuel was bad. Viper going for the Atos build, but actually picks up 2 Wraith Bands first. I don't know how common this one is. We see Mid One, who really revolutionized the way we play Viper these days. He just picks up the 2 crowns at level 1, crown and 3 branches. The Burning Army comes down, we'll take out the Leshrac. So Leshrac, he TP'd back into lane and died straight away again, which feels pretty terrible. Cronus Speed comes out onto the Pangoli. There's not enough bashes, but there is a time dilation, so the Pangoli won't be able to time walk out, to swashbuckle out afterwards. And the solo kill onto the Pangoli feels pretty good. Battle Fury on the Faceless Void just wants to keep farming, thinks that the rest of his team can handle it for him. Ice Path onto the Lion and a double edge to finish him off. This max Retaliate is interesting. Obviously the bonus damage from Retaliate is huge when you max it out, but takes away from the burst from your double edge. Also takes away your farm potential from the double edge. The double edge obviously great for last hitting. So I haven't played this new Centaur Retaliate too much, so don't have any strong opinions on it yet. The Swashbuckle comes out from the Pangoli, so now that Leshrac knows he can kill the Pangoli, only 6 seconds still. There's a time dilation if the Faceless Void wants to go for it, but he'll end up dying anyway. You waste the Rolling Thunder as well. Very unfortunate there. The Diabolic Edict does go through spell immunity. It is physical damage, so the Rolling Thunder not going to be able to protect him from the Diabolic Edict. The Centaur just going to take the tower by himself. Has no Retaliate stacks to take it quicker, unfortunately. Also, going for a Crimson Guard first, pretty useful against the Clinks. It basically nullifies the Searing Arrows. So if that's how you want to think of it. And Clinks' base damage is not that high, only 67, and he's level 8. Viper with the Faceless Void at top. Faceless Void almost has Chrono Spear again, so maybe looking to make a rotation should be pretty easy with the Viper. A lot of damage going into the Chrono Sphere.
Radiant has lost their top tower.
You do see the Centaur on the side of Amazon, but not able to do anything. And the Clinks just goes down. The Shaq and Jakiro just kill him. Managed to land an Ice Path and then into a follow-up Split Earth, so that feels pretty good. Faceless Void does have Chronosphere again. We'll look if he tries to go for another solo kill on the Pangoli. Unfortunately, Pangoli does have Swashbuckle on cooldown, so he's got to kill him during the Chronosphere, otherwise it's not going to happen. A Bash does come out though. Pangoli already at a third of the HP, so getting pretty low. Faceless Void will just decide to back out. Ursa will get Ice Path up. I wonder if they can get this kill. Ursa going for a TP. The War Stop does manage to connect, so they're going to kill this Ursa. It's going to be a slow and humiliating death, but he will eventually go down. 4 heroes at top, no smoke, and also being seen by this Observer Ward. So nice Observer Ward placed by the Leshrac earlier. And they see the Faceless Void, but the Coddle goes first and isn't able to stop the Faceless Void in any way from just time walking out. Again, the lack of catch from the side of Amazon DeepDivers really hurting them. The Lion needs to go in front, and even then, they've just got 1.4 seconds on the Earth Spike and 3 seconds on the Hex. Interestingly enough, we're seeing more points in the Hex. I don't think I've ever seen this before. The Earth Spike is the only one that does damage, so you want to max it out first to get the most value out of the bonus damage. Also, the stun duration scales okay, 0.4 per level. The 2-2-1 build out of Lion, very uncommon. And Facebook get this bot T1 tower, 13k ahead at 13 minutes, so that 1k GPM yikes territory, pretty guaranteed to win thanks to Dota Plus at this point. Void almost has a Battle Fury. I'm going to see him hit creeps for a little bit longer, while the rest of the team just makes space. Cuddle does see Jakiro place down that ward. That ward only works at nighttime, so I made a grave mistake there.
Some things were just not meant to be.
Atos done on the Viper now. It's on the Courier, so getting it sent out. Going for a Greaves next. The usual Viper stuff. And Diabolic Edict just taking the tower along with the Liquid Fire, so a lot of just the supports are able to take out towers, which is actually not that common. So this is a pretty strong support duo. A nice split earth onto 2 heroes. The Swashbuckle misses the Shrek, but he wouldn't have been able to catch him anyway, even with the slow from the Swashbuckle. Maybe a follow-up Rolling Thunder could have kept him in place. Jakiro gonna help out the Faceless Void at top with the top tower. So at this point, I put the rest of my seals into Liquid Fire and then max out the Dual Breath Blast. So the Shrek will go down to the Clinks, but the Burning Army, the Viper ends up killing the Clinks first. So Clinks not even gonna get any experience for the share. Cuddle really low already, so needs to be careful. Might just get jumped Chronosphere. Faceless Void hasn't used his Chronosphere in a while, so he's probably itching for a fight. Has a Battle Fury already, 15 minutes into the game, so very farmed Faceless Void. Didn't go for Tread, so that's probably the main reason why he has it.
Radiant's top tower is being
Hood
attacked.
done on the Centaur, so gonna be really hard to take down now. The Hood and the Crimson Guard both come at the same time, so maybe some inefficient courier usage coming out of Facebook, because if he managed to get the Hood and still had the Crimson Guard in his stash, it means someone's been taking courier away. A nice Stampede will help the Jakiro escape the clutches of 5 heroes, and yeah, there's not much that Amazon can do against the Stampede. The Shrek manning up, coming back in, wants to start a fight, so he's just going to run in with a Diabolic Edict, putting a lot of pressure on the Lion already. A Ice Path stuns up the Lion, the Rolling Thunder comes through, the Shrek ends up going down. The Centaur is pretty tanky, he's got the Hood and the Crimson Guard, so it's going to be pretty hard to kill. A Pause comes out, Keeper of the Light standing on the Macropie, so he's got to get out of there. A little bit awkward. Yeah, there's not much damage left on the side of Amazon. They don't have the Burning Army. Even if Clinks reconnects, he's completely out of position to join the fight. But even if he reconnects, he doesn't have the Burning Army and no items yet to show, so he's not going to be able to do that much damage. Already used the Strafe, so not going to hit too hard. Chronosphere onto the Ursa and the Keeper of the Light. The Centaur finishes off the Lion on the side. Kodo does go down in the Chronosphere, but the Ursa will make it away. Pangoli ends up getting bashed and will die to a double edge. And Facebook, they're gonna go for the high ground. Nice ATOS onto the Clinks, stun follow up, the Sentry goes down, and the Viper Strike onto the Clinks will finish him off. Ursa also goes down, Pangoli buys back, starts TPing in, but regrets his decision immediately. And Facebook on the high ground. There's all 5 heroes up now. The Shrek pretty far away, also going for his own ATOS. The Ice Path comes out, he misses everyone. Unfortunately, before the ATOS for the follow-up. Another poison attack onto the Kodo, takes away half his hit points. The Faceless Void gets pretty low, but then Time Walks all the damage off. So not much damage over time on the side of Amazon, just mostly burst damage, and you can really just dodge that with a Time Walk. So, nice play. And the Shrek's here for the Diabolic Edict. The Ice Path misses everyone, unfortunately. Nice 2-man hoof stomp on the Clinks and the Ursa.
Whole lot of murder going on here.
And the Ursa is just getting kited. The Centaur will eventually go down, and actually he's just gonna get out. He's just gonna walk out. There's nothing he's afraid of anymore. And nice one to get back up pretty high, and the melee racks will go down, and the Yules is done for the Jakiro, so he shouldn't miss Ice Path anymore. At least he can set up for his own Ice Path. Obviously getting 2 mans are not possible with Yules, it's a lot harder. The nice regen rune for the Viper, so he doesn't have to use the Shrine, but Centaur will just use the Shrine on his own. That's okay.
To the impurities.
And 4 bounty runes going the way of Facebook. 23k gold ahead at 17 minutes in, so just gonna wait for them to finish out the game, I suppose. Can't really lose with this lead at this point. Yeah, there's gonna be another Chrono as well. So the draft from Amazon DeepDivers is just not really able to deal with the heroes on the side of Facebook. The Stampede kind of just hard counters everyone. You just run away. Only the Lion can stun anyone. So you just run away from the Lion. Nowhere near the Blink Dagger. He doesn't even have it queued up. Centaur spamming winning wards. Side of vision from Facebook is actually not that good. So seems pretty reasonable. Whereas the vision from Amazon is pretty good. Cuddle charging out that blast. Just trying to be a nuisance to the Jakiro. And Greaves almost stunned on the Viper, actually 1k gold away, so not that close. They're gonna walk together, they get the Clinks, the Atos onto the Clinks, Ice Path comes out, the Burning Army will come out, and the Jakiro might die to this, but he uses himself before he gets taken out. They take out the Burning Army, Pangli ends up hitting the rock instead of going over it with a shield crash, so won't be able to get the follow-up kill on the Jakiro, and the Shrek is here now with that Disco Pony damage coming out. The Lion will end up going down, the Pangli tries to TP up but gets stunned by the Split Earth, and he's gonna go down as well. 4 down on the side of Amazon, and Facebook looking to push the towers now. So, nice fight from Facebook. Another 1500 gold swing onto the way of Facebook. Really feeling this game. The Shrek not using his edict to take out the shrine, so Jakiro, he'll just use his liquid fire to take it out very slowly. Bounty runes are up, we'll see if Facebook wants to go back. And Atos from the Leshrac onto the Clinks, the Illuminate, the ulti, Will-O-Wisp comes out from the Leshrac, but it's not enough, from the Coddle, it's not enough to take him out. The Shrek will end up going down. Centaur's in pretty deep, but he's pretty tanky. He's got a pipe and a Crimson Guard. The Magpie will come out to deter the chase. And this Coddle, he's kind of on his own. Shakira will end up going down, so a bit of a split up fight. The Viper just farming in the jungle, so I don't know what he's doing. Not really wanting to fight. Mask of Madness on the Faceless Void now. He's ready to... He could probably solo kill most of the heroes on the side of Amazon now. The Ursa might be a bit tough, but could still probably do it if his RNG is good enough. Just get more bashes. It's 22%.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
So yeah, just the supports on the side of Facebook going down. Just this Viper sitting in the jungle, wanted to get his Greaves, so now they're ready to push. See Faceless Void fishing for that Chronosphere.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
Centaur just standing in front. Diabolic Edict also comes out. There's no Will-O-Wisp, but nothing for the Faceless Void to be afraid of now. He's just looking for a good opportunity. He can get it onto the Clinks and the Pangali right now, but gonna hold it back. He's gonna go in, get a 3-man Chrono onto the 2 supports and the Pango. The Burning Army does come out, but the Viper is so tanky, he just like used his Greaves and didn't care. The Atos will miss on the Clinks, but he gets dusted and will eventually go down. The Ursa getting used up by Jakiro and Ice Path and will go down eventually. 80% damage reduction makes it pretty hard to take him down, but yeah, they have overwhelming damage on the side of Facebook. They're gonna take this Rax, and we'll see when Amazon decides to call GG. It's getting pretty close now. And yeah, they call GG. Jakiro with the taunt. Oh, but they cancelled the GG, like the game can end at the times. Okay, there you go. So a pretty overwhelming display from Facebook. Honestly, Amazon mostly just got outdrafted. The Centaur pick really sealed the deal because now there was no more catch. This Coddle Lion support duo just isn't that effective. They don't do well in the lane, and Keeper of the Light, great at team fight, but you need an offlaner who can help you initiate, and this Pangli just got crushed early on.